Jeff Bezos is reportedly interested in buying the Celtics per Bill Simmons. He says this, in the last few days has been some, I think, legitimate buzz about Jeff Bezos buying the Celtics, and I think it's real. I think he's going to be one of the suitors. Now, that's interesting. And I want to give you guys a little breakdown into why I think this, because, well, we know Jeff Bezos has been very interested in buying a professional sports team, at least one, for quite a few years now. He's been interested in it. This would be a perfect situation for both him and the Boston Celtics. And let me explain why. Well, we know, and we've had a lot of discussion about the drastic changes now in the cap. I'm not going to give the full-on rules and details of that all right now, but essentially it's become a lot more constricted to only having two superstars per se, especially if you build them up, because there's going to be such a large tax penalty and so on and so forth for them. Well, if Jeff Bezos is buying this just to have fun and build the best possible team he can, then this is a team that we look at, they can sustain this for a long time. You have your foundational core duo right there in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Those two guys aren't going anywhere, and for at least the next 5 years, they're going to be contenders. All of to possibly 10 even. I don't know exactly how long it's going to last, but those two guys are going to be together for quite some time. But then you got guys like Drew Holiday, you got guys like Al Horford and company that, they probably won't be lasting for the entirety of that run. So they need to have opportunities to add on to that team and still be great. And they have the luxury of doing so because they have those two guys core built upon in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So the excitement here is that if Jeff Bezos buys them, we know that he's one of the wealthiest men in all the world. There's not a lot of stuff he won't be able to buy or taxes he won't be able to pay. And so if he buys this team and this franchise, the Boston Celtics have a legitimate chance now at winning many championships over the next 10 years. They will be able to sustain success with Jeff Bezos at the helm and ownership. And from his aspect, well, you get a very, very valuable franchise. I'm sure he's one of the greatest businessmen of all time. He's going to be able to make the right moves for the Celtics in that regard. But on top of that, they could build this brand and really continue to elevate this over the next 10 or so years to build a potential dynasty run. I don't know. That could obviously be the case. But he could really add on value to this Boston Celtics team more so than it already is one of the top valued franchises in the world. So that's something to start to keep an eye on. And I think if Jeff Bezos is interested and does decide to pursue him by the Boston Celtics, that'll make massive waves within the basketball world because there's not a lot of guys that's going to be able to compete financially with Jeff Bezos.